G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. It's another wonderful day. It's a Wednesday. I've just spent the whole morning with my eldest granddaughter. We went up to Bilpin and picked some apples, had some apple pie with ice cream, and had a great time, just the two of us. We're back in Sydney now. She's on the iPad and I'm pumping out another Jim's 5am Club. So good thing is that we've got time for everything in our lives, and it's important just to, as I say, make every post a winner when you can, and to try and do as much as you can with the time we've got available to us. Anyway, I turn 61 tomorrow, and I've got 7 more vlogs to do, so bear with me is all I can say, because I just need to pump out these vlogs by tomorrow, because I've set myself a goal of 1,000 in English, and this is another great opportunity to have a chat. So today's book summary is entitled Catch Me If You Can, by an author named Frank Abagnale. Frank Abagnale. And this book kicks off with a massive and a beautiful quote, something that I found very, very powerful, and I hope you do as well. So let me just read it, and I'll just try and read it as best I can, because getting it out is probably the key. It's not what a man has, but what a man is that's important. I know who I am and what I am, and that's what counts, and not what other people may think of me. I tell you what, if you've got that sort of attitude and you can live a life with that sort of, positivity and sense of self-worth, then you don't really need to turn to many other people for affirmation and pumping you up. I love this. It's not what a man has, but what a man is. You know, to all those people out there who are busy spending their hard-earned cash, spending borrowed money in order to get the status symbol in terms of the car, the postcode, the trophy wife, the jewelry, the watches, all of the accessories of status. You know, at the end of the day, all of that's not going to help you, because people are going to judge you not on your appearance and not on their perceived view of you, but who you really are. And at the end of the day, who gives a damn what other people think? The most important thing of all is for you to know who you are, and to back yourself, and to not to have to look around you for those accolades, which are empty anyway. So the author then goes on to talk about a few more things here, and the key point that he makes here is to don't let the means become an end. And he goes on to remind us, and we all know this, and especially as the generations start to grow and people start to spread their wings and to show their colours, what the author says here is that some people are extremely spoilt in terms of how they were brought up and how they've lived their lives. And the author goes on to say that some people are that spoilt that they never learn the value of a hard and honest day's work, which is important because it's important for each and every one of us to look back and feel fulfilled with what we've done and how we've done it, and to put in a reasonable sort of effort day in, day out, so that you can be proud of your contribution and what you've done. But the challenge that some people face and will continue to face in their lives, according to this author, is that there are people who continue to take shortcuts, who try and take the easy road to achieving character, to achieving education, and to achieving everything that they have. How you going there? All good?
I'm good. You getting a bit of sun?
Yeah, a bit of sun, and I'm just in a vlog here, so...
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
I'll catch you later, eh?
Yep.
Looking good, you're looking good.
Thank you.
Take care, keep it up. And some people, not all people, continue to take shortcuts, and those shortcuts become a way of life. I was just pleased to see Senora go past there, and obviously she's not a person who takes shortcuts, and she's physically active, and as I said to her, she looks great, and for her to keep it up. So the key message from this author is that we shouldn't be taking shortcuts. And many years ago I read a book entitled The Road Less Travelled, where Scott Peck, that author, and I read that book well over 30 years ago, said that the important thing is to take the long way, to take the difficult road, because it's only by taking the long road that you get to experience the full spectrum of life and to learn all the things you need to know to be that you can use later on in your life. Then the author goes on to one of my favourite topics here, a topic that is a taboo topic for many people, but the topic is of lying. Lying. And he makes the point, which I guess our parents have been telling us all our lives, and we've been telling our children all our lives, that lying is an exhausting exercise. If you're lying, it becomes very, very exhausting, because you have to keep track. You have to keep track of everything that you've said. Because sooner or later, you're going to get caught out. We know over the years we've been chatting to people. We've worked with many people who draw a long bow and enjoy talking things up. But you know that sooner or later, if they're lying, they're going to get caught out. But the author here reminds us that not only will they get caught out, but it's also very, very exhausting, because a liar needs to keep track of every conversation that they've had with all the people that they engage with, because they need to be consistent. And it's really, really hard for people to maintain a level of consistency. And as we said here, the more we lie, the harder it becomes to maintain it. So the big lesson, of course, is pretty obvious, that what we shouldn't do is lie. And even the act of embellishing things too much is another source of lying that we need to be careful of. So the author here says the bottom line is, and we've learnt this, my spiritual father tells me this all the time, when you speak the truth, it will still be the truth 5 years from now. So later on, if somebody asks you something, it's easy just to backtrack and recall what you said, because it's the truth. And to remember the truth is easy, but could you imagine 5 years from now, somebody asking you to recall something and to talk about it, and to have to backtrack and try and remember what the last conversations were with that particular person. So the bottom line is that you've got to be careful, because by lying, as this author reminds us, you entangle yourself eventually and you get caught out. And that's why I think a lot of friendships, a lot of relationships end up on the rocks, or end up, people separating and going different paths, because it gets to the point where it just becomes too hard to continue the lying, that it's probably better off for people just to part company. The last point that comes out of this book from this author is where he talks about, and we alluded to this before, that sometimes the wrong skill can lead you down the right path. So what he's saying is, don't discredit and don't talk down on the skills that you've had and the experiences that you've had throughout your life, because you never know when it may be useful. An example being, when I was a younger guy, when I was younger, I did go through a stage where I was a gambler. I used to go to the races and spend quite a bit of time at the races, following the form, following where the money goes with the bookmakers, following the markets in terms of the prices, and learning quite a few things in terms of human behaviour, learning about greed, learning about self-control and lack of self-control, and how emotion impacts people's investment or gambling decisions more so than anything else. And I guess the bottom line also is not to believe all the things you hear, because over the years I heard many an example of people saying that a horse was going to win, it was tipped to win, it was going to win because of A, B and C reasons, but of course it never got up to win, because the reality never matches the fantasy. But I was speaking with my stockbroker, and I did learn quite a bit during those formative years as a punter on the horses. But a lot of that knowledge, a lot of that skill, believe it or not, I'm using it now with my trading relationship that I've got with a broker. I've had that relationship with him for 10 years. But to be able to assess risk, to manage risk, to know what it feels like to lose and to accept it, and for it not to eat away at you, and to back yourself when you've got a feeling that there is an opportunity there to make some money. So once again, this is aligned to what this author's saying, that all skills that you pick up along the way are useful, because you never know when you're going to use them. Because our lives goes in ups and downs. We cycle through things, and the older you get wiser in some ways, but you still need to call on the lessons that you learned through your reckless youth, because sometimes recklessness is also something which is quite powerful and useful, especially when times are violently fluctuating, I guess, and gyrating on share markets. You need to keep your head. You need to look for signals, look for patterns, and we've picked up a lot of those patterns over the years, as I say, through my punting times, which I can use in parallel with my trading relationship, as I say, with my stockbroker. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. So don't know what happened in the car, but I think I've dropped some water on my notes, so they're a little bit blotchy there, so I can't read any of the other notes, but I think we've said enough on this book summary. So once again, thank you very much for joining me on this episode. And as I say, we've got about 6 or 7 to go. And this book was entitled Catch Me If You Can. And anybody wishing to indulge in vlogging and to follow my lead, I'm happy to coach anybody and teach them the tricks of the trade that I've been able to pick up. And yeah, by all means, send me a request, and I'm happy to pass on all of the knowledge that I have to help you get up and going on a vlogging hobby. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and most importantly, let's be partners in each other's developments. Let's learn a few of the tricks of the trade from this book that we just went through, and to back yourself, remembering that how you view yourself is more important than how any other person views you. As long as you view yourself in a positive light, and that you accentuate your strengths and work on your weaknesses, then that's all you really need to do in life. Anyway, Yassas, Filakia from Jim's 5am Club, and I'll come to you again a little bit later with a different message, a message of empowerment, where we can live, learn and pass it on, and see where it takes us. Take care, Yassas, and bye for now.